High five. They say it's raining, it's pouring, but the old man is snoring. But I don't hear any snoring, but it's definitely raining. And I'll tell you what, damn. You guys have never seen Jezebel in the rain. This is a sight to see. I'm gonna get wet for you guys. This car looks freaking wicked in the rain. Okay, I'm getting too wet. Wow. All right, yep. I just took a shower. I just got out here. Wow. Yep. Uh-huh. That's what I wanted to get done, was get that wet again. Let's see. Oh, all over the camera lens. Anyways, now that the camera's clean, let me tell you why we're filming today. Not the greatest intro in the world. Maybe a little bit funny, depending on who you are, how bored you are. But we are working on, not Jezebel, because it's obviously raining, but we're going to be taking these heads down to the machine shop. If you don't know what these babies are, you ain't a Mopar guy. That's okay. We were all slow at one time, and then we learned about the greatness of the 426 Hemi, the most respected V8 engine in the world. Now I know there's guys out there who say they had a small block Chevy that whooped one of those things' ass, but there's still no denying that there's no other engine that's been banned from more forms of competition than the 426. But we're not taking this head. This head was an experiment to see, because someone told me this was not weldable. I welded it. This chamber's all blown to crap. This head's almost not worth fixing, but it will be fixed someday. For another Hemi that's behind my toolbox. And there's the other head that'll go to it. But we're going to be pulling my Pro Stock apart because it's not actually together. The only thing together is a short block. I got to take the heads off, and I got the springs for the big 774 816 solid roller cam. That's the lift specs, by the way. It's 292/300. Split duration at 50. 292/300. That's a lot of duration on a 108 lobe set. That's a big freaking cam. Let me tell you, those lobes on that cam that go to this engine are almost as tall as the journals. They're ridiculous. But that's what this engine was running with, those BME aluminum rods, the Chevy rods, on a factory Hemi crank that's been turned down to big block Chevy specs. So it makes it about a 451 inch. I think it's 20 or 30 over with Ross 12.5 pistons or 12-to-1 pistons. This thing's gonna be an animal, and it'll be breathing through these twin dominators. These are the actual Gen 1 dominators with the stacks cast into them. I will be making the dual distributor setup work. It's courtesy of my friend Tom out in St. Louis. Thank you, Tom. I know you might watch this one because, well, a sweet thumbnail of this bad boy. These valve covers are original Chrysler steel dual plug valve covers. How cool is that? I love Hemi stuff. Mileage and oiling system, because the way the crank has been offset ground and the aluminum rods, you can't run an internal pickup system, so you got to run an external oil pickup to the pan, which you can't see over the headers. So we got to run a dual line mileage and oiling system. We could probably get away with a single, but I got a dual, so we'll use it. But I've been eager to hear this thing run, and I've decided this year I'm going to hear this thing run before my next birthday, which is in January. And yeah, I'm going to make that crap happen. And right now I got the money to spend and the desire burning. So we're going to rip these two dual plug heads off, get those ready to go to the machine shop tomorrow, hopefully, maybe Saturday. And hope you guys enjoy a little history lesson on the mighty 426 Hemi. Enjoy this montage of me trying to maneuver this massive behemoth of an elephant out of its storage area. Let me tell you, it don't move the greatest, but we'll get her. Enjoy. Alrighty, well, we got her ripped out of her hole, and that's not super easy, but we got her. Just want to show you my Pro Stock Hemi. You know, this could be the last time I see it together. Could be the start of something magical and awesome. I'm sorry, I'm just excited. Being a Mopar guy, 426 Hemi, the elephant, is just the dream every Mopar man has, and if he claims to not have that dream, he's either given up or he's not a real Mopar guy. Because this is the dream. You're a Mopar guy, that's the end all be all, and if you say a 440 is better or just as good, you're living a lie. That's all I could say about that. Just impressive engine, the size of it, the power it can make. It's just insanely cool. In fact, so here's the intake ports of my other head, my fucked up head. That's 3 of my fingers wide, and that's, you know, them kind of, I could almost fit 4. In fact, there's really no good way to show you how big it is. Here's a battery for one of my drills. It fits in the port. Massive engine, massive power gains, just cool looking. There's nothing that gets better. And this one being with dual distributors, dual distributor, twin plug, dual dominator, dual line pickup. I mean, just come on, enjoy a moment with me. All right, enough playing around. Let's take her apart and get her ready to go to the machine shop. Pro stock completely disassembled, at least as far as we're going to go. But I've had people ask in the past, they wanted to see a closer look at this dual distributor setup, so I pulled all the wires off, one cap off. This is not a fully functioning setup. It still needs this distributor fully machined. You got to shorten it a little bit, but all this is like a GM Hillborn fuel pump. And you put a clamp on there, and that's the stock end on it, I'm pretty sure, if Tom told me right. And literally it plugs right into a RB Hemi, or RB big block Mopar. And what that does is through gears spins that distributor, and it will spin this one if this one had guts in it. And it's pretty neat. So each one has its own clamping system. This one more traditional style, so you can time each distributor individually, and that one uses that style clamp. There's another version that's a little better version, so doesn't look as pure correct, but it works. So yeah, you can literally change your timing for spark plug A and B, fire them at the exact same time, fire one a little bit after, a little bit before, depends on what you want to do. But it's just a really neat setup. And down here we got a place for a tack cable or any kind of cable drive, and that does work. Tom did go through and rebuild this baby for me. It was part of a trade we did when I got the I got 2 sets of brand new Hemi spark plug wires. One set's there, one set needs to be assembled in the house, and those steel valve covers, which these things to me are just the coolest thing in the world. These were These are original dual plug steel valve covers, and just the car that these must have been on at some point. They were more than likely a factory backed Dodge or Plymouth guy, and they're in my possession. That's just cool. Thinking about getting those plated in chrome, don't know yet. But yeah, just want to give you a little in-depth view of this dual distributor setup. There's another version with Sogs and Martin ran where you got twin mag heads up in the same direction. It's what you see on a lot of the modern dual plug Hemis. Well, the Gen 2 dual plug, you know, Keith Black style. This style is like what Dick Landy ran. I like this a lot more, just more visually appealing to me. But we're up in the air. Tom's got a setup where it's got twin mag heads coming straight up in the same way. They're parallel versus perpendicular. And we'll see which one we go with. But I got this one, and I love it because that thing is just neat. Now let's take a look at these heads. So this is the first set of dual plug heads I ever owned, and they kind of started the sickness. Along with, I actually bought these in the same road trip. I went and got that block, and I never plan on making a functioning Hemi again, but I ended up getting the rotating assembly that belongs to that engine, the whole valve train setup, and now I'm going to make it run again. I paid 600 bucks for these. The downside is that this one is the blown up one, as you saw earlier. But these are indeed Bob Mullen heads. If I remember the history correct, the only way to get a pair of these heads, which these are water aluminum dual plug heads, was either through Dick Landy, Sox and Martin, or through Bob Mullen himself. Excuse me. And right there you can faintly see it says Mullen & Co. And each chamber is numbered 2, 4, 6, and 8, and that one's got 1, 3, 5, 7. But they're basically a stock iron head cast in aluminum, but with dual spark plugs. I mean, that's really about all that's different. They got the special part number 3614 433, so we call these 433 heads. And these are, in our opinion, the greatest head that ever came out. The special name for these is D4A. In the D series of Hemi stuff, you have D5, which is a whole different animal, where Chrysler tried to reinvent the 426 and make it better, shorter dome on the piston, a little better rotating assembly. Dick Landy did a whole bunch of stuff to try and, you know, reinvent it, and he made it work a lot better, but they're a whole different unicorn. But yeah, these are just really sweet. My first set. This head is hopefully going to be one of the few that goes on to the Pro Stock to run. So one thing, here's a little trick my buddy Tom taught me. This little pad right here, which I believe is also present on 440s, on the 440 head. This is here to show you how much has been milled off the heads, and you can see how thick this one is. You got a big fingernail you catch on there. This one is virtually unmilled. It's original deck height, and that's a good thing. You don't want a bunch of milling on your heads unless you're trying to go for compression. Now let's grab our nice pair of heads. So this is my like mint condition pair of heads I got from Tom. Paid him $1,000 for these, if I remember right, something like that. Whatever he had in them, wasn't a lot of money. May not have been 1,000, may have been less. I don't remember. I don't care. When you get into 426 Hemi stuff, prices you just forget about it because it's going to be an expensive battle. No such thing as a cheap Hemi, even though original intent of that engine was built under $3,000, and I know we're still underneath that budget. We'll probably have that thing done for right around $4,000 or $5,000 total investment. But I got to add up the books, and I'll let you guys know. So we'll look at this head a little bit later. So this head, these both came from Tom, and they are really nice heads. The downside of this one, it has been milled like no other. That's almost flush there. So this one we probably won't use on this engine. It's already so high compression. But this head, these two are in excellent shape. I mean, I wish these two were perfect matches, because they're not. It's a little bit of a shame, but oh well. This is still a really awesome head. If we didn't have such high compression, we could use it for sure. See, there it says set 1, and it also has the Mullen & Co. right there. It's very, very faint. You can barely read that. Yep, nope, we're not going to be able to see it. You can kind of see it. It's blurry right there. Ah, yeah. Dual plug Hemi. Alright, let's put this guy down. and take a look at this really special head. Yep. Ah, yeah, that's cool. One thing nice about what Chrysler did with the Hemi, they gave you this nice handle right here, so you can carry that baby around. So this head, also virtually virgin, almost no milling. It's been O-ringed, not a big deal. But yeah, just admire that bad boy. But what makes this one really cool is that S.M. That stands for Sox and Martin, number 180, Mullen & Co. 271. So this head was prepped by Sox and Martin. Was it on one of their personal cars? No idea. You'd have to verify it. But I love that. Main reason to buy this other pair was these are both really good heads, regardless of that one being milled so much. But I think we can make a set out of this one and my non-blown up original head. So those will be the two going to the machine shop to get valves loaded in them, probably new guides, probably get some work done on the seats, make them port matched, put the springs on them, get all of them set up to run with that big gnarly solid roller cam. But yeah, I just wanted to show you the heads, and there they are. Man, those things are wicked. I just had to. Oh, I kind of wish I still had a set of iron heads just to show you the differences, but there's almost virtually no difference other than they don't have that plug hole, which is actually kind of a pain to put in there. So it don't mean you can just take another set of heads and put that hole in there. You can, but it's a bit of a pain in the butt. Alrighty, on to the old Hemi. So topping off our induction side, let me remove this sweet Jegs Dominator cap. Check that out. You need carburetor hats. Jegs has them in Dominator, 4150, any series you want. And let me tell you, they're freaking nice for the price. Force powers. Told to stop. But here's our Gen 1 Dominators. As you can see, they have the stack on them. These ones have the provision for a choke flap like on the NASCAR style ones. But what makes this setup really cool is this tunnel ram is made of magnesium. It's about a little around a third the weight of aluminum, and one of these Dominators weighs just as much, not a little bit more, than this intake itself. I wish I had a way to weigh this thing. I think it's like 15 pounds or something, maybe it's a little less. This intake is just ridiculously light, but it's also magnesium, so you got to care for it like a newborn child. This thing, I'm about ready to have to re-soak it because it's starting to show a bit of oxidation. So what happens with magnesium as it turns to a fine powder if it's not cared for, and it will literally just turn to nothing in your hands if you don't care for it. Especially if you put it in your salt water, kiss it goodbye, it's gone immediately. But we got wooden spacers between the Dominators just for a little bit of extra clearance and to keep the heat from getting to the Dominators. We got the tunnel ram linkage pretty well set up on here, and I can't actuate it without it being mounted to the intake or to the engine. But yeah, works really good. There we go. And we're going to be using 2 or maybe 3 of these little Moroso fuel Ys. We're going to run the fuel lines either some kind of funky way into there and into there. We might put the plugs on this side so that way the fuel comes all the way out here, and then whoop, and then whoop. And then we're going to run them together underneath to another Y or like a T, and that'll come out the front of the intake, go down the block to the fuel pump, which will be on that block off plate. But I ain't got a fuel pump yet for this engine. Probably get another Carter super pump or something. But I kind of got this whole thing envisioned, and I now know with the headers we're gonna have to clearance. We're gonna have to suck this line in a little bit more because it can be sucked in just for clearance, because the header kind of wants to rub right about there. And we got, like I said, we got to rebuild this pump itself. But it's go time, baby. It's freaking go time. Alrighty, fellers and gals, everybody out there, again, if you're new from Jonathan W's channel, I greatly appreciate y'all. I hope you guys stick around because I'm eager to hear this big Mamba Jamba fire up, and be staying tuned to seeing what Jonathan does with that old V12 American LaFrance engine. If you ain't checked that out, go check it out. It's a great video, awesome engine, it's a twin plug V12. I mean, what's not to love about it? And we're working on a twin plug Hemi. So, I mean, it's freaking awesome. But as always, guys, I appreciate you always for watching. And you know what to do with the video. If you liked it, do the likey thing. I ain't gonna ask you to subscribe or none of that crap. If you like the video, do what you want. If you want us to check out for more, expect the video of this engine running probably about November time, I'd imagine, or October. I'll let you know. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and look forward to seeing the next one. So take care, and bye-bye.